Okay, everyone. So, next activity, let's write the definition of art. Art is how I will release my hidden power, right? So we all have this hidden power, and this is what this advanced AP class is for. So we are going to do an ABC chart, one of my favorite strategies because it works, where we will make a word bank, and this can get personal to you, right? But you can follow with the class and have the biggest one as possible. You need to have of like showing a dichotomy of joy and pain. So both joy and pain should be in this word bank. And the reason for that is we don't want to get all sad and depressed, right? So we want to have a variety of topics. And the hidden power, we're going to ask questions about topics that interest us to release our hidden power. So we're just kind of scratching at the surface, starting to ask questions, but we need those topics first, right? Because we can't have an inquiry question. We can't say anything about anything until we have a brainstorm about topics, right? So this will help us hone and get deeper. Okay, stop talking, Miss Gobert. A, B, C, D, E, F. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Guys, sing with me. H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Q, R, S. Am I out of the shot? Oh, no. S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. And again, this works. Okay. So let's start by just thinking about the AP art portfolios from last year. What were some topics of joy and pain? And you don't have to add it but I'm going to write it small because it might give me an idea. So Elvis was a joyful topic. And if it's joyful, right, you may color it in one color, right? So maybe you have a joy color. And then if it is a topic of pain, you would have a different color. So Elvis was a joy topic. And then I'll do this color purple for pain. So we can have a variety of topics. Topic, one word. Inquiry, one sentence, one question. Inquiry is a whole question with multiple topics. Okay. So Elvis, I'm just thinking about the portfolios that I posted. Grief, loss, death, right? Let's see. A lot of sad things and things of struggle come up, right? That we're interested about. Bipolar disorder. And these could be things you want to learn more about. You want to learn more about Elvis. Okay. Let me get more joyful. Beauty. Oh yeah, but there was body dysmorphia. Okay. See how I'm getting all painy? Hypocrisy was one. Let's see. What were the joyful parts? I can't think of the joy, so you got to kind of like force it. Comparison. So I'm just going to think of some things that make me happy, and I don't have to be like, so like, does this make sense? Okay, so, a common thing that you guys say is food, right? Well, hone it, okay? So what kind of food? Cats, right? Pets. Pets. Working out. Or being physical. Music, right? Do you see how this thing is going to get super long? Music and Elvis. So Elvis is way more specific, right? So this is good. You want to hone. Let's see how we're doing. Okay, joy, I got music and beauty, cats, pets, being physical, working out, right? And then for pain, and add your own, right? Work as a class, talk out loud. Bipolar disorder, body dysmorphia, comparison, death. Oh, food would be joyful, right? But then you could like do like food shortage. Food. Now some of you may be like, I already have my inquiry question. It doesn't matter, right? Like you could go deeper, right? And we always have that issue where kids like run out of things to say. So the assignment for today, the proving behavior of today for today, is that you have a long arse list of questions. Okay. Let's see. Gosh, I wish I was there with you guys so you could help me. Youth, time, that's complicated. Maybe time is both. Time, family. I'm trying to think of some of your current ones. Being a woman, womening. You know, we got animals, right? They could be joyful, right? So we got to think of both sides. What's Elizabeth's? Something to do with history and humanity. Okay, let me think of the ones from last year. So there was psychological, psychology. There was insecurities. DeAngelis was insecurities. Insecurities. Now, here's the thing. You may get like super specific. Like maybe your mother is going to be a huge part of your portfolio, or your father. Like there are people, right? Family, lover, because that helps us to get specific. Lovers. Maybe something that brings me joy are trees. Lakes, right? For me, maybe it's the ocean, being outside, right? Maybe it's a dichotomy between ocean and the city. Maybe it's the art of photography. You know, you could go really big and be like, okay, freedom, what does that even mean within the city? Like how do I create freedom? Education, like maybe you want to like explore that, things that you want to explore. Womening, maybe gay rights, right? Happiness, like how do we create happiness? You know, right? So racism. What are some other ones that might religion, silence, thinking for yourself is hard. Anything that you guys are curious. I'm like far away from you and I'm thinking what you would be curious in. Mother, money, how that impacts the mind, right? Optimism, that's like being positive. How do we stay positive? Like how do we stay positive within this world? The opposite of optimism, just so you know, is pessimism. So even though I'm not there, you guys can periodically like pause your video and be getting very specific. And as a class, like you could go up there and you could lead this activity as a group. Okay, let's see how I'm doing. Let's self-monitor. Okay, so family. Family could be joyful or painful, right? It's like both. Same with history. On these. So if you're getting something that has a dichotomy like to you, like it brings joy and pain, then that's interesting. You got to explore that. Like I know like this idea of a patriarch. Ooh, the patriarchy. Patriarch. Like the dangers of the patriarchy. My thesis was kind of about that. Like why the patriarchy is so destructive. It destroys people. you know, like for me, like personally, those of you guys who know me, like mental illness is fascinating to me, but how do I escape like this idea, right? I believe that art saves lives. So like the process, and your topic can be like longer, like the process of art making, I think is a very joyful thing, right? So like process of music, process of photography, process of playing sports, process in general, like continuing to move, like how do we continue to make progress, all these big ideas, materials, process, and ideas. We're focusing on ideas this week. Let's see, did I think about everyone's portfolio from last year? I got Hades, Melanie, like hypocrisy, religion, family. Emmy's comparison, like how we compare ourselves to each other. Or maybe you wanna, one AP art portfolio was all about sneakers and obsessions, like how we obsess over material things, materialism. How do we escape the world? Through nature. Let's see. A lot of you work, right? So maybe you want to do an inquiry about your like whole job, you know, or like different people's like economic status, like economic divisions. And here's the thing, if you're a senior, you could, like, I would reach out to Miss Saldana and I will ask her, like, what are some strong senior action projects? Optimism, mental illness, loss, lovers, lakes, kindness. Like, how do we create more kindness? Now I'm just looking at the letters. Maybe you want to do a whole thing on juice. Like your whole AP art portfolio could be about like exploring different kinds of juice and how we create juice. You can get very, very specific, right? Like a very specific animal. Like I'm not joking. Maybe you want to do it all on squirrels, right? You just want to like explore squirrels. What are squirrels? What makes squirrels tick? Like how do squirrels survive? Like it can be something that makes you laugh, but as long as you're curious, like what topics release your hidden power? Like for me, like writing and poetry. Maybe you want to explore poets, try to get some extra credit with like AP Lit. I don't know. Okay, let's see. How are we doing? There are no limits. There are no boundaries for your inquiry question. Lovers. Wait. Oh, that's pain. Crap. I did the wrong color. Okay, so lovers, lakes, kindness, juice. Okay, so I'm getting some joy. So you need a balance of joy. Okay. Optimism. See, mother. That could be. And if it's complicated, like look there. Like, did I do religion yet? Where's religion? Religion is a complicated one. Right? And how that religion complicates the concept of truth for some of us, right? Or beliefs, right? Everyone has different beliefs, you know. And here's the thing, like something that's coming up in AP art portfolios often is like abuse or numbness. Like and then there are these ideas, like these words that are popping up on social media. You know, like what is one that I see all the time? Like toxic relationships, right? You want to like stay away. Like if it's getting a little cliche, right? And the meaning is like very murky, you want to narrow that down, right? So it's like, what is it? Is it a toxic sibling or a toxic friend? Right? And then where's the joy behind that? Like maybe the memories. So maybe memories. Oh, and another thing is place, right? Like a very specific place to you. Like for me, like I could do a whole inquiry on Michigan and the place where I'm saying Sylvan Lake. Now, obviously you may not write that down because this is like very specific to me, but maybe you want to do a whole inquiry about your neighborhood, your street. Right? Like maybe it's all about Hill Street, right? Or like under the freeway. I don't know. Like maybe you want to take a bunch of photography about like, well, what is it like under the freeway? or maybe a specific thing like car rims. I mean, I know I'm all over the place. So as we like elaborate, everyone's ABC chart should start to look different. Maybe you have another one over here a second, but when I come back, I want to see so much. Okay, womening, I would say is positive, but it's complicated because it's hard. Work, there are pros and cons to work, so I could color that in both. Jobs, pros and cons. You know, how to just deal with people. Like, people are complicated. Places are complicated, right? Or this idea of home, right? That's a good one. Like, what is my home? Do I even have a home? Go crazy. Okay, insecurities. And then D'Angeli's, like the opposite of insecurities was like she ended up triumphing. Triumph. And she had freedom. Mm-hmm. Money could be both. Joy versus misery. Mental illness, I do not think is joyful. Moving is joyful. Memories can be, maybe it's like trauma, right? Truth, trauma. Like, is there beauty in my trauma, right? So what you want to do is you want to have like a purple and a green in both, or a joy and pain in both in your inquiry question. Sneakers, right? So why am I so obsessed with sneakers? That's complicated. That is joy and something complicated. Psychology is both. Photography, I would say, is joyful. Racism, ew. Youth is positive. Or maybe it's painful. I don't know. Progress, I would say, is always positive. Obsessions. But maybe you are obsessed with something and you're like, oh, wow, I'm really obsessed. Under the freeway, can I find beauty under the freeway? Or can I find beauty, like where does the beauty lie in the homeless? What is a common thing I hear is numbness. I don't know what that means, right? But is there joy in numbness? See, so a lot of this is you're like educating the world about like what it means to be a teenager now, right? Obviously, abuse, addiction is a huge thing. Screens, obsessive, a lack of confidence or confidence. Like, how do I become confident in this world? Confident. Voice, how do I find my voice? Music, we got, did I highlight music? Materialism, like maybe you're obsessed with clothes and nails and you don't know how to escape. So many good ideas in this video, my goodness. I think education is joyful, but someone taught me it's not. Like, education is like a prison, right? So how do we escape the prison of education, or why does education feel like a prison? Would be a good question. Oh, I am getting tired already. I think the patriarchy is negative. Maybe you think otherwise. People are hard, right? People are awful sometimes, says Sartre. Poetry is nothing but good. Maybe there's like, it's like, what are the beautiful negative places in the world that give me power? What is my power and how does it function? The word power. Because art is how I will release my hidden power. Well, maybe you're like, well, I don't even know what power is. So power can be bad. Power can cause misery and pain. Gay rights, I would say, is positive. Home is complicated. Maybe you feel like you don't have a home, right? Think about America's home from last year. Like, is there joy in being homeless? Hill Street, where's the joy? So much of this, there's like a dichotomy of joy and pain. There's potential here. Truth, joy, and pain. Well, the truth hurts, but then it will set you free. Triumphing is mostly positive. Time, why do you bother me? So see how like a lot of these things, like beliefs, there could be a dogmatic belief. What did I write there? Is that capitalism? You guys tell me later. Maybe the cities are beautiful. Economic divisions. And I'm sorry if you guys can't read. Humanity is both. And now you're probably like, okay, what is this mess? Well, yeah, it needs to be yours. You need to take ownership. Silence, I would say, is negative. Thinking for yourself, positive. Trees, beautiful. You can throw in some global warming. Squirrels, I like them. Toxic. like, why, like, what is it about siblings that's so complicated? Voice, I would say, is a positive thing. My positive place. Okay. You should pause your video now and make this very specific. So make sure you pause your video. You have a long list of like things that bring you joy, like topics that make you curious, that bring you joy. And then like things that bring you pain. But like why does it make you feel powerful, right? Like, how do you know if you're picking the good things for your hidden power? Like this idea of hidden power. Art is how you will reach your hidden power. Well, the secret, guys, is that you need to be curious. Like, what are you curious? What are you wondering about? Right? What am I wondering about? What do I want to know about? What sets you on fire? Okay, so keep adding on. All right, so hopefully you paused your video. Now on another paper, and I like having like full page spreads in your sketchbook. I want it to feel very full, right? So you can see how your ideas connect, right? What are your questions? Put tops on things. Hopefully you guys have highlighters. Now I don't want you to copy, right? But what are your questions? I want you to come up with a list of, I don't know, what's a reasonable list? Let's see how many I come up with, and that will be the reasonable amount. Okay? So, for a good question, right, you need to have the joy and the pain. I would say a minimum of 2 topics. Okay, I may need to be quiet for this. How can music, and mostly Elvis, save me from endless grief? Do you need to rate the same question? No. How do we women and escape
Hey, Mommy.
Yeah.
I shifted the Corvette.
Whoa.
Just like you did when you were 16.
Oh! Jacob, say hi.
Hi.
We're writing questions. Can you go tell me what time it is, Jacob? Please, I need to know the time.
I did 1, 2, 3, 4 in reverse.
Can bipolar disorder lead to a discovery of joy? Notice how they're all questions. Topic, 1 word, question, 1 sentence. Topic, 1 word, question, 1 sentence. Where is the joy within body dysmorphia? How do I free myself from psychological manifestations of comparison? This was Emmy's, and I feel like his AP Psych class helped him like develop his inquiry. Just throwing that out there. How do I find peace in my mother-daughter relation? Now here's the thing, like this gets really personal, relationship, but I don't know, like I got my joy in here, peace, and I'm just going to tell you, you find power when you get personal. Just throwing that out there. Thinking about stuff. Sorry, guys. Can an obsession with pets and animals save a life? Maybe you're doing a portfolio about emotions, right? So how do humans regulate their emotions, and what does the path to success look like? So if you add at the end, and what does the path, or what does it look like? What does the journey look like? What does the path look like? That gives you an avenue towards discovery. So for the question, it should be a question that leads to discovery. It should be complicated. It should be a complicated question with joy and pain. It should be personal. So it's release your power and leads to joy and discovery. Okay, let's do 10 questions. I feel like that's reasonable. 9. Why is there so much beauty and awe in Sylvan Lake? Where is the pain? Okay, so maybe you're like, oh, I didn't throw in, because I just realized I didn't throw in my pain thing, right? My painful, so I could have a dichotomy. You could have 2 questions back to back. And here's the thing, guys, I want 10 things, but I can help you with the wording later, but I want 10. I don't want you to be like, oh, I was stuck. No, you can't be stuck. Look, we made this big word bank. Okay? Does death lead to more happiness? Now this is interesting. Does. That's going to lead to a yes or a no question. So can death lead to more happiness? Can death of a loved one lead to more happiness? And what does recovery look like? I can't even write anymore. I'm glad we're only doing 10. So this is a compound question, because I added 2 questions. And what does recovery look like? Or I could say, what does the path? Okay. So now self-assess, right? Do all these lead to discovery? Do I have a dichotomy of joy and pain within my 10 questions? Okay, let's see. And then I think I gotta go. I have an appointment. Okay, so music and Elvis, joyful, endless grief, women. How do we women? Sometimes I put the wrong letter, guys. How do we women? Escape is positive. Perilous message. Can bipolars lead to discovery is positive. Joy. Where is the joy within body dysmorphia? And I would add, and what does that look like? And what does that? Because you're, just to be clear, you're showing the answer through your art this year, right? Through the art you're creating. So where is the joy within body dysmorphia? What does that look like? How do I free myself from psychological manifestations of comparison? How to find peace? Hey guys, check for understanding. Are you writing these questions? No, you're writing your own. Peace, mother-daughter relationship, right? That can be complicated. Maybe it's too personal, right? So you gotta check yourself. Do I really want to make 15 art pieces about this thing? Can an obsession with pets and animals save a life? How do humans regulate? Humans regulate their emotions, and what does the path to success look like? Where is there so much beauty and awe? Okay, so this is a specific place, so maybe you're going to explore a place or a person. Where is the pain? Can death lead to more happiness? And what does recovery? Recovery is positive. So So we're doing like negatives, positives, negatives, positives. Okay. Here we go. Endless grief, endless trauma, bipolar disorder, body dysmorphia, psychological manifestations can be positive, but comparisons, how to find peace, mother-daughter relationship, that can be complicated, obsession, regulate's positive. I may need to revise this. I don't know if there's enough like pain and truth in this. So that needs to be revised, right? It's like, so what is emotional deregulation? Deregulation. So in order to like discover the positive, you need to also explore the negative, right? So you need to have both sides in a question. So what is emotional deregulation, and how do humans regulate their emotions, and what does the path to success look like? Very long question, but now I have both. So notice how this process of color coding made us rewrite our questions. Why is there so much beauty and awe? Where is the pain? We're in Sylvan Lake. Or you could say, why is there so much beauty and awe in Los Angeles? Where is the pain? Can death of a loved one lead to more? Okay. And what does the path of recovery look like? So remember, your questions should lead you to discover. Why did I highlight it in that color? No. If your questions lead you to discovery, that will lead you to power. Okay, this was a 30-minute lesson meant to happen before, are you ready for this? Before you make your inquiry slides. Now, what are your next steps after this, right? I would say, like, I would share with a partner, right? Stop and share multiple times throughout this video, right? So stop after the ABC chart, stop after this, share, and then, right, your next steps in this process would be to Google image art, right? And then after you Google image that, right, you don't want to copy, right? You just want to like gather the imagery. So like you could Google trauma art, right? Obsession art, obsession of seek, and just see what's out there. You can like write like, who has made art about your topic, blah, 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 blah. And then, yeah, I would start to do drawings and I would start to do art. I would make art, I would make your slides, and then I would do a mind map, right? So you could put that in your slides. So your next step is to do a mind map. So you kind of like pick your best question, maybe star your best question, right? And then you're going to go ahead, you're going to make a mind map from this whole brainstorming process. So another brainstorm 1, brainstorm 2, and then mind map, you put that in your slides along with art and stuff, right? And you're basically presenting, where do you think you're going to go with your inquiry this year? Like your questions, what are you going to make art about? I don't know what makes a good inquiry question, right? Well, check out the example APR portfolios. Good luck, guys. Now I'm going to have my coffee. Yeah.